Hello everyone, I'm Jesus and welcome to the next episode of The Road to Old School MTG. In this episode I have only one package to open. This is one more card towards my singleton deck. And it's a good card to have in general. This package is actually proxy cards. I will explain my reasoning for buying these. And just talk more about these. But first I want to start off with just showing off the cards that I received in between the last video and this video, where I didn't deem it important enough to make a whole video just for these cards. But nonetheless, since I'm already making a new video with these cards, I want to just fill in the missing blanks and include these new cards as well. This is a package here over here, $37.54 with the shipping and taxes, $43 basically. So I received only one Chaos Harlequin in this particular in this batch of cards, but I had 3 from before, right? So that just completed my Chaos Harlequin play set. I got 4 Lodestone Baubles at $5.57 each, right? So over $20 for all 4. This is just a very good ramp for just card draw card for just 1 mana, and it's I was seeing it a lot being used against me, and I really like the way it worked, so I wanted to have these. So in that package I got all 4 Ursus Baubles. So here I have 4 total. I had 2 from before, and then in this package that you see here I got the other missing 2. And then I did get 4 Zuran Orbs. Which one was it? One of these, yeah, this is one Zuran Orb was not in the best condition, but the other 3 were, and every other card was fine, right? So definitely one Zuran Orb is moderately play condition as opposed to near mint. The bad thing is that I got these four Zuran Orbs between 2 different companies, so I'm not sure which one it was that gave me one jacked up one, but whatever, it's not a big deal. All right, so just wanted to show off these cards right there. So I already have the Lodestone Baubles and the Ursus Baubles sleeved up because I was testing them out in another deck. I kept the Ursus Baubles. I'm not using particularly now the Lodestone Baubles, but I do see myself using them. In fact, I'm testing out another deck with them and these, so that's coming up. The 4 Zuran Orbs, I don't have any particular deck in mind right now for them, but these are just iconic cards, very important to just have around for when I do want them. 4 Chaos Harlequins, I've been seeing them being used against me a lot. I never understood the value of the card. Even now, I'm still a bit iffy on it, but it has been used against me to a lot of success, right? It usually attacks for 4, not for 2, especially if your deck is low on lands, or you just drew a land and you're likely not to draw another land. So and since a lot of times players can think they may get 0 damage, because if you draw a land, you pay 1 red, you draw a land, it loses -4 never 0, so it gets no damage. But if you remove the top card of your library from the game and it's a non-land card, it gets +2/+0, so it gets 4 damage, right? So it's basically a flip of a coin, whether you get 0 or 4 damage. So a lot of people don't block it, and then you get pinged for 4. Definitely that happened to me. So there's a surprise aspect of it. So it definitely does attack for 4 very often. So and I'm not currently using it. That's why they're on sleeve, but I wanted to have them. And actually, now that I think about it, I want to also show us another set of cards that's coming up where I don't intend to make a video for them. So might as well just show them off now. So I'm supposed to get 4 Shield Spheres that's coming up. They're basically a little bit under $5 each. So I got about 4 of them. They're coming up. So they're 0/6 wall for 0 mana. Every time they block it, they get 0 -1. So it gets smaller with every block, but still it's a 0 casting cost defender. So it's I have a couple of decks in mind for that card, so I wanted to have them. It's similar idea to the Ursus Baubles and Lodestone Baubles, just cards that cost nothing but are still useful in one way or another. All right, so that's out of the way now. The main event, well, between these two. Let's see. Yeah, let me try this one first. I'm just filling up where the card is. This should be a Caracas. Actually, I'm going to show the listing. I think you might have seen it already. All right. So price $62 for moderately played, which is a pretty good price. With sales tax, came to $66. So, and it's signed actually. So moderately played. Let's see if that's what I got. If I'm not mistaken, I got the bubble wrapper. I got a picture of it. Actually, yeah, I'll see if I show that picture. And so here's the card itself. All right, Caracas, Legendary Land, MP, sign. Who came in a perfect fit sleeve? Actually, 2 sleeves. Yeah, it was 101 Moderately played. Yeah, definitely moderately played. At least. But the main issue is the edge wear. The actual surface of the card, the front is decent. The back, it does have some surface smudges here and there, but no scratches or anything. So actually, yeah, I'm pretty happy with this purchase. Sorry for the low quality overhead camera, but you guys get an idea. All right, so let me see if I can pop up the actual. Okay, there it is. So let me just show this. So this from this same this exact listing, car pictures were provided. So I'm really, even if the price is super tempting, I'm trying not to buy with sight unseen, because you just have no basis for complaint for what you get. So looking at this picture here, seemed fine to me, and yeah, you can definitely tell it's the same card. The little edge lip, I see it here, little weathering there, weathering right there, corner, little lip there, and then just to the side. Well, I don't see that too much, but I can see how it showed. But yeah, all the other indicators are there. So yeah, that's the same card. The back looks better in the picture than in real life, but just a tiny bit. But I see these little marks there at the bottom. But yeah, so it's definitely, I got the correct item. So Caracas, tap legendary land, tap for 1 white, or tap return target legend to owner's hand, and champions on target legend are destroyed. So in the singleton format, at least in my play group, there are a lot of, I'm seeing more and more legendary creatures being played. Gwendolyn, Tetsu, I believe. Really this, and I have 2 of my own actually, although mine are not particularly good. They're just decent. Jasmine and Sir Chandler, they're just decent power toughness compared to the cost with no abilities, but nonetheless still legends. So I could tap them to save them, or I could tap this to disrupt another legend from having its ability being used. So it's pretty good. Good. So I'm glad this is here. All right, so that's taken care of. Now to look at the proxy cards. All right, so talking about these, and I won't post the actual link to this. I may post link to the website where you can get them if you want. So first of all, right, I picked the back, which is similar, but proxy playtest copy, not for sale, right? So it's right, and so this is very common. Players buy these proxies, and then right, they choose very obvious different card back. Right, so I just chose this one because I thought it was funny, and because I know the front is not going to be seen. Plus, I have no intentions of passing this out as a real card ever. Right, this is strictly just for my own personal use and in playing with the singleton format, and just in general, just because I'm starting to play in person more, and it's just a little concerning to take a deck that's worth $10,000 or more to a casual play group. Anything happens, I'm out a lot of money. And not only that, right? And honestly, that definitely, yeah, I guess that's 50% of the reason why I got it. Or maybe less. I think the slightly more major reason I got these proxy cards is because it was getting very annoying to go back and forth between some real cards and all my real cards, and then between the decks. So I'm playing more and more formats, so I'm playing more and more decks, and my cards are getting more and more used, and certain cards are getting used all over the place, right? So in this case, Birds of Paradise, I only have 4. They're very expensive, right? They're like $30 at least for old school legal ones, right? Same art, same frame, original art, original frame. So so it was getting annoying going back and forth all the time. And so those are the reasons why I got these proxies, and I only got one of each, right? So that way it just makes it easier for me to, because I want to keep the singleton deck ready at all times, but I don't want it to take up the cards that I need for other decks, right? So if I ever use a Birds of Paradise for a certain deck, I probably use all 4. Right? But I don't have a 5th, and I don't intend to spend $30 just to have an extra Birds of Paradise for my singleton deck. Same thing. Ice Storms, they're expensive. They're like $60, $70 or more. I only have 4. And if I'm using a deck like my Bantam Geddon deck, I tend to have 4 Ice Storms. Well, actually, yeah, if I use Ice Storms, I always have 4. So I don't want to either keep using it, keep one going back and forth, or right. So just this solves that problem. I keep it in my singleton deck, and then it doesn't interfere with the other real 4 Ice Storms. Since then, since when I ordered this, it took like a month to get here. I've bought more cards. So now I do see a need. Well, there's definitely not a need. It's more of a preference. But I see that I should get a few more other proxies. All right, so that's the reasoning for it. It came to like very cheap. So I got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 proxies for like $10. With the shipping, it was another 8, so $20 little under $20 to get these 18 cards. Yeah, and they look pretty decently real. You know, there's they're not super glossy, right? But you can tell it's a playing card, right? Like just for solitaire stuff like that, right? You can tell the qualities like that. And I bought a cheaper card stock, just the thickness of the card, so it's definitely, you can tell the difference between a real card and a proxy. And of course, it has the proxy back. All right, so that was the reasoning for me purchasing these. See, now I got a Caracas. That's a $60 card. And maybe I don't want to be, going back and forth. Although the ones, some certain cards I did get, one off, and I might just, it might be fine if I just keep it in the singleton deck, right? So it's not like every single opportunity I can to, take certain cards that I will, but just it's awful. And this is, one more time, this is strictly for the singleton deck, because this is the format that my group tends to play the most. So if I do bring another deck, my Atlantic deck, right, that has the 4 Ice Storms, that has the 4 Burst of Paradise, that has, my 4 Icy Manipulators, right? Those I got to put the real cards, right? So, it saves me the hassle, and I guess, if I only bring my singleton deck, and if ever gets lost, then I would, it would negate some of the monetary loss that I would incur. Right? So, for that, it does help. But if I decide to bring another deck, Atlantic, whatever, that's, then I just got to be careful, because, I'm not going to buy 4 more Ice Storms just so I can use only proxies, right? That's frowned upon. Casual play is fine, but, just, I'm not going to proxy up everything, right? This is more strictly for my singleton deck, because that's the one I use the most in my playgroup. Right, but I have no intention of actually getting real, a play set of proxies and then using them instead of my real cards, right? I want to use my real cards. So this is more for 1, security against my singleton deck, and 2, just convenience. All right, so Ice Storm, a card I usually use a lot, right? So just, it'll save the hassle of me using my real Ice Storm. In fact, might as well. This is my 100 card singleton deck. So I have to take out a planes now to put in the Caracas. And speak of the devil, there we go. A $700 real collector's edition Chaos Orb. And now a 20-cent proxy Chaos Orb. Pretty similar. I guess let me take off the and this one has the rounded corners, the proxy. Mine's collector's edition has the sharp corners. And of course the gold borders in the back. I only have 1 Chaos Orb. It's $700. I'm not gonna buy more. But of course, every single old school deck has a Chaos Orb in it, right? Unless you're trying to, play Pauper. So, let me put oh no, I don't have to. What am I doing? Because I don't care about protecting this. I'm just gonna, and actually, in this one, they're unsleeved, because since this is a 100 card deck, it's easy to, it's already bulky enough, right? So I don't sleeve, I don't double sleeve, unless it's an expensive card. But now I'm gonna take those out and put them with the these cheaper ones, right? So there it is. That was one use of it, right? So I use the Chaos Orb a lot in basically all my other old school decks, right? I have my Phantom Geddon deck. I have my Mono Black deck when I, sometimes I'm playing the deck, you know, or at least I used to. It has Chaos Orb, right? So basically, you know, every old school deck has a Chaos Orb. But I'm not gonna buy more than one, so that means I've been flipping back and forth, right? I still intend to do that when I play, you know, real, you know, when I play online games. Right? But now I can keep this one permanently, the proxy one permanently in my old school deck. I mean, in my singleton deck. And then I still have the real one to use, you know, legitimately for my other purposes. So, you know, that makes it convenient. I can keep this one here and then that's it. I can go, my blue is for my singleton deck. That's why I even bought a different colored sleeves because I wanted this to be its own thing as much as I can. And but you know, until now I've still been swapping cards like the Chaos Orb, for example, right? If I needed to play another, I was in another tournament, online tournament, I need to use a deck that has the Chaos Orb, which is basically every deck. Because even in X points, Chaos Orbs are not pointed. So if you have it, you put it in. So, you know, just, you know, there's still a lot of swapping for the real one. So I just wanted to kind of prevent some of it. So I still got to swap it if I'm playing in an X points, and then I'm also doing another Neos league, right? So it's still going to get swapped because there's only one, I only have the one, and I will only ever have the one real copy. But at least now I don't have to also move it around between X points, Neos, and Singleton. Right now, I can just keep this one here. Right, so that's the reasoning why. And of course, I wanted to put these proxies unsleeved because, like I said, I want. See, this is this real Armageddon. I do have it with the sleeve, but that's because, like I said, I move this around a lot. Right, the Urnum, this is a real one, but it's unsleeved because it's so cheap. The If Beef, it looks like it's unsleeved, yeah. But this is a real one. In fact, this is way more expensive than the Armageddon, which has no sleeve. So I just kind of, you know, this one got through the cracks there. But actually I have an if right now. So that's the reasoning. So it's just gonna make it easier for me. I do feel the difference here between, I hope it doesn't affect my Chaos Orb flips. Yeah, it seems the same. All right. So, okay. And some of these I may still not, you know, change. We'll see. All right, so let's see. If free, there it is. This is the proxy in the back. Now I will. So this is the real pile, right? Also with the Caracas. That's, well, actually, I'll put it in now. This is the fake if that's a $200 card. There it is. Actually, the proxy one is pretty dark in comparison. Yeah, it's a bit dark. And this is a real one from Arabian Nights, so you know, but you know, I don't really care too much. It's a proxy. All right, so let's see what other ones. I think maybe I did Armageddon too. We'll see. Also, D Shadow, that's a real one. Your skinny, force of nature. Okay, so just a random planes. So I gotta put the real Caracas because I don't, you know, I bought this after I ordered this. I ordered this like a month ago and it finally got here. But I might just keep the Caracas because I don't really use it for anything else, you know. So it might, you know, like I'm not gonna change every single, you know, expensive card. You know, some of them can stay here if, you know, if it's not needed somewhere else, right? So that's fine for me to have the real Caracas, right? But if I make another order, I might, you know, in the future, I might as well just do a fake one, proxy one to keep. Yeah, force field is another one. Let's see if I order this. I doubt I did. Yeah, you see I didn't. So this is a real force field. I bought it for $130 at the $130. So I'm using the real one. It's double sleeved. Right, so it does feel a little, you know, different, but it's a 100 card deck, right? So you can, you know, for a couple of them, a double sleeved is not really noticeable across 100 cards. But yeah, but this is definitely another. I should, whenever, if I'll give this a try with the proxies, and then if I like it, if I feel the convenience, a lot, I might make a second order, and that second order might be more substantial amount of cards. Mm. A lot of lands all bunched up. Mace of Ith. All right, so this is a real one. I did get a proxy. So this is like a $30 card, something like that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't think I'll swap it for the proxy. It's not super expensive. Plus, I think before I ordered these, I got more Maces of Ith. So before I only had one, now I have three. I bought two extra ones, right? So, and usually I tend to not put more than two. I think two is the sweet spot, unless maybe I'm playing like blue control, which I rarely do. But even then, I might still not do three Maces, right? So this one can stay. Like I said, I don't want to make it this deck totally fake. All right, but here's my Taunos, my real Taunos. I got a proxy, but I've just received this. I kind of want to use the real thing a bit more, so I'll keep it there. But it's $130 card. Actually, manipulators are like 80 and 90, 100, over 100. This one I might change because I do use, they do get used a bit. And so yeah, you see this one had the inner sleeve. All right, so yeah, might as well just, because I do use the ice manipulators for other things sometimes. So I can now still have 4 available, and then I keep the fake one here at all times, and it's going to be single sleeved. Yeah, it's similar, but definitely maybe next order I'll do a bit thicker cardstock. Oh, so there's the bird. So the birds gets used a lot. If I put birds in a deck, I usually put all four birds. And this is a $30 card. I'm not gonna spend $30. Actually, at least 30, right? It could be definitely more. Now I'm gonna spend $20, $30 for an extra bird just to have in my singleton deck. Right? Because then that's 5 birds, right? So it's just seems like a waste. Right. So there's the fake one, and then this one can stay here at all times while I still use my real ones for the competitive decks, right? If I ever play this competitively, I would swap all the fakes and put the real ones in. So here it is, Savannah. Savannah gets used a lot by me. They had the double sleeve. So now, there it is. I was looking for worse, because this is one of the big ones I needed. Savannah's like a $300 card. I don't want it. And I use it all the time, right? So it was very annoying going back and forth. So now the fake one can stay here forever. Thunder Spirit is a recent card I got, and I did buy a proxy of it. There it is. Actually, it's funny. My proxy is in English. My real one is Italian, because the Italian one was cheaper than the real English one. I got this one for like $80, around 90 after 90ish, or after fees and whatever shipping. Yeah, but my the proxy is in English. But it is double sleeved, right? It's a pretty hefty price card. But I only have the one. I don't really need it for anything else. So yeah, I think I'll keep the real one in there. But this one I gotta remove. Ice Storm. Even though you see this one is cheaper than the real Spirit Guide, which I'm choosing to keep. This one I'm choosing to remove, not for the cost, but just for the inconvenience that I get from having to swap this one. So in my Bantam deck, I have 4 Ice Storms, right? I only have 4 real ones. So that means I have 3 in the other one, and the 4th I gotta put it here in the singleton deck when I play this, and then when I play the other deck, I gotta take it out, put it back there, and then if I play this one again, I gotta put it back. Just very annoying. Now this big Ice Storm can stay here the whole time. But of course, like I mentioned, you play a real tournament, you remove the fakes. Okay, this Summer again has been here this whole time. I thought I did a proxy for this, but I didn't. All right. Asuchi. So this is a recent card I got. Have you played? But I'm really psyched about it, so I kind of don't want to take it out. I got it for like $70, so not a little pricey, but not super pricey. So here's the fake proxy Suchi compared to the real one. It's a little darker, the proxy. Yeah, but in general, just first quick view, it looks real, right? That's why it has the proxy back. So I only have the one. I don't intend on putting it. Once I have 4 of these, which I do want to get a full place, right? Because Suchi is a very powerful card. A creature gets used a lot, especially in Swiss tournaments, because Swiss format doesn't have mana burn. So then these guys are even more powerful because the issue with Juggernauts is that they get killed by lightning bolts and chain lightnings. Suchis do not. Plus they're artifacts, so terrors also don't work against them. Well, it wouldn't work against the Juggernaut, right? But just in general, it's harder to target Suchis than it is to target Juggernauts. But since it's still kind of new, I want to keep it. And plus, it's only one, right? I'm not gonna create a deck that only has one where I need just the one real Suchi, right? If I make a deck that needs Suchis, it'll probably need 2 or 3 or maybe even all 4. By that point, then I'll put the fake proxy in here. But for now, I can keep the real Suchi. Plus, it's still pretty new, right? So I want to enjoy playing the real thing. Creatures, it's another one of those cards. Ooh, I'm surprised I did not sleeve this. I do use them, not a lot, but they get used. And I only have 2, and I don't want to get more. But they get used, especially in sideboards. Rarely do I used it as a main deck. My other more serious decks. But I do put them, the 2 real ones, a lot in sideboards, right? So then it's been annoying flipping back and forth. So now this fake one can stay here all the time. And then you guys can see my deck as I'm passing along here. This deck is pretty solid. Oh yeah, Sylvan Library. That's another card I use a lot. It's like $30. It's not super expensive, but it's I only have 2. I might buy another one. We'll see, more. But so 2 tends to be the sweet spot for Sylvan Libraries. So unless I'm like really bored and have nothing else to put my money on, I wouldn't really buy more Sylvans. Unless I really wanted to do a deck that asks for more than 2 Sylvan Libraries. But that's unusual. So this one can stay here, and then the 2 real ones can be used in my real decks. Here's another one, land tax. So I have 4 real ones. But for Bantam-geddon, Armageddon, land taxes can be used. And so I just wanted, to have all 4 available. So then this proxy can stay here in the singleton. So same thing with Mana Vault. I do use it a bit, not super, not a lot, but I have used it. Even I only have one, but it's another similar to Lantex, like $30. But it does get used every now and then. So, to avoid the swapping, I'll put the proxy one there. Ooh, City of Brass. I'm surprised I didn't proxy City of Brass. Because actually that's another one that I could have definitely used this one. A proxy of City of Brass. I'm surprised that I didn't do it. Oh well. But yeah, this one I could use a proxy because I only have 4. They're like $25, $30 each. Well, I mean, that's how I got it for me. It's the prices dropped. A lot of prices are dropping nowadays. This is from Chronicles. But I use, they get used a lot, right? A lot of decks that have many colors will have all 4 cities of brass. So I could have used one proxy to keep in this deck, but I should have put one of those, yeah. But whatever, not a big deal. Just would have been a little less hassle, but not a big deal. I didn't proxy the swords. Not surprising, I guess, because swords are cheap enough. Not super cheap, but I think maybe like a couple bucks, but yeah, cheap enough that, and a lot of times, like let's say like a swords to plowshares, right? Not I remember why. I found the 5th one. That's what it was. I bought 4, but then looking through my collection after the fact, I actually found a real one that I had from way back then. So then that's why I have 5. So this is a real one that's staying here. But if that wasn't the case, like even then, like I'm a little iffy about buying 5 cards because, just for sorting purposes, I just want to have 4. And, although I have for Singleton, I have bought some extra ones, or I've been gifted, from my new playgroup friends. That Urnum that you saw before, like the real Urnum. Yeah, right. There's a real Urnum. It's just a couple of pennies. But I only have 4, and then I was swapping them, right? So then one of my friends noticed, and then he happened to have a real one, and then he just gave it to me, right? But if it's cheap enough, yeah. But even if it's a couple bucks, it's kind of like I just it doesn't feel right to me to buy an extra one. I will, just for the convenience of it, but it feels a little off, doing that because I guess maybe OCD, I just want to have 4, or less, I don't have full plate sets of all these cards. But like 5 is like an odd number, and then it just feels a little funny having 5. But I have bought a couple extra ones of some cheaper cards, just like White Knight also, just to keep in Singleton. And now I put in a lot of proxies to, so all these cards actually, let's see. So these are the ones I just removed and have included proxies. Birds, yeah, that's quite a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 10 less cards. I'm gonna have to be swapping back and forth between my tournament decks and this casual play deck. Plus saves a lot of money. So here, like so I would say maybe like $2,000. No, actually not. Really, these actually are some of the most expensive cards, right? So $700, $30, 30, 30, 50, 40, 50, something like that. 300, 30, 80, 90, 100, something like that. 200. Doesn't count. Right, so just that one is 700, 900. That's 1,000 right there. 300. 30, 60, 90, 400, and maybe. So yeah, and then plus still have a couple more expensive ones here, right? Caracas, the real one, the 7. So actually, yeah, maybe around like, I had close to $2,000 of real cards here. I've just removed 1,500. If something happens, and plus they're not double sleeve, right? So, and we tend to meet up at restaurants and things like that, bars. Something spills, they're not double protected. So still stuff could happen, right, to the real cards. It's not likely, but it could, right? Of course, plus loss, theft. This just minimizes the monetary loss I would incur. So that's honestly, that's like a third of the reason. The main reason is these cards, these real cards, I use them all the time. And I don't intend on buying a fifth of these cards. They're all at least $30. Some are quite a bit more. So this is a nice solution to that, the proxies. And then here I have a couple of extra proxies just in case, may I decide I do want to use the 3 real mazes, and then I just swap the fake one, right? Or I get my full playset and then I want to use the full place of real suchis, then I'll put a fake one there. And then here are the dual lines I do have. That's just, thinking ahead in case I want to create another singleton deck. Right, that's why I only bought one of them, right? Because singleton decks, you only allowed one of any non-basic land, non-basic card. So, just thinking ahead in case. Right, so these are currently not going to get swapped for, for the real ones. Right, but it's good to just have them in reserve in case I change my mind. All right, so there we go. So that's these proxies. As I said, they are very clearly marked as proxies. The front feels way different. If they were sleeved, then maybe they could pass as real, like at first glance. But if you pull them out, you will immediately see the back. You will immediately feel that just it's way too perfect, right? It doesn't feel like cardboard, right? That's how glossy it is. Right? If you actually bought a real magic card, it would feel like this, a current real magic card. But the old school ones, nah, it's not gonna feel like that. Even if it's packed fresh, it's just still not gonna feel like that. It just has a different feel. Right? So some people might frown upon this. Like I said, this is strictly for my play group to partly minimize loss, financial loss in case, loss, damage, theft. But the real reason is, the main reason is just, it's annoying to flip around these real cards back and forth, and not just annoying. This Chaos Orb is, I bought a near mint. If the points start going out on me, which they're not so far, because I've kept it, double sleeved the entire time I had it, and I've been playing it, right, the real one, and flipping it, right? But if it gets nicked and such, it's just I'm going to lose out on several $100s there, right? So, right, and just going back and forth, putting it back in the sleeves, you just run the risk. You're supposed to put the perfect fit sleeve, then put in the second sleeve, and then that's it, leave it there, right? It's not supposed to be going in and out. That's kind of defeats the purpose of the protection these sleeves provide if you keep on take them in and out of them, right? So just for all those reasons, I've made the decision to go this route. but once again, only for my play test group, and actually my play test group, I'm not play my, just my old school group. They do allow proxies as well, right? So they're proxy friendly. Other players play proxies as well, right? So it's not something that I'm not doing this, to be sly, and not tell anybody else. Like, yeah, I will freely admit, yeah, actually, some of these cards I bought proxies because I didn't want to keep swapping them in and out between the real decks. I just want to keep them here and then just forget it. Right. Plus, I'm traveling. I live in New Jersey, but a lot of these get-togethers are in New York, where I take public transportation. It's just, just more peace of mind for me knowing that anything happens, I'm not out $2,000. Maybe I'm out a few hundred. Right? I'm still going to be out some money, but a few hundred is a lot better than a few thousand. All right, so hopefully you guys learned some stuff here. Just learned also about proxies, why you may want them. And actually, a final note, I did try to buy proxies. Well, I don't know about try to buy, but I tried to look up if I could buy proxies. But, it makes sense that you're not allowed to, right? eBay doesn't sell those. So if you want these, you will have to order them, right? So I use, what was this website service? NPCMakePlayingCards.com, right? So let's go there. There's several videos that give you step by step. That's what I did. I followed the directions in a certain video. I'll see if I can link it in with this video. If you're so inclined to make your own proxies, and actually also players make proxies also for their cubes and such, right? So there's a lot of legitimate uses for proxies. The main thing is, right, the back has to be clearly recognizable as a proxy. And a lot of those services that create these cards will actually not allow you to put the real back, right? Because they don't want to, whether this is currently technically not allowable, not legal, but definitely with the putting, the more legitimate back, that's just even more fishy behavior, right? So just for fun, between friends, just for your own, personal use, that's fine, right? But real tournaments, even online ones, I will always use my real ones. In fact, that's why I want these proxies, because now these real ones, oh, not these, right there. See it? You can tell still the fake ones. These real ones will now go back in my real collection of cards, where they can be used for the legitimate purposes I bought these cards for, right? Which is tournaments, or just casual, friendly games. But even the casual friendly games, you're supposed to play with the real cards, right? So, unless you're certain, there are play groups that does allow proxies, right? So I can use the proxies legitimately. Actually, the singleton format in general allows proxies. So I could actually play this in a tournament, online tournament, because they allow proxies, right? So it depends, on the situation. They could be allowed, but 9 times out of 10, more often than not, unless you're playing just for fun, if you're in a tournament, you got to have the real ones. And if they allow proxies, right, just double check. It should be. They usually advertise that fact that, hey, we're proxy friendly to attract more players, because of course not everybody's going to be like me, and even me, right? I'm not. There's players spend tens of thousands. I just spend 15,000, hundreds of thousands on Magic, right? So even though I spend a lot, I'm definitely not the worst offender by any means. All right, so hopefully you guys saw more, how to use, why you would want proxies, the reasons why I got them, just understanding a little bit of the process, how to buy them, and then why I'm using them, right? Specifically for my in-person singleton games with my play group, and they allow proxies, plus singleton format in general tends to allow proxies. So in either case, friendly or tournament, singleton is proxy friendly. So this is perfectly fine in either situation, whether it's friendly or just tournament. I could use proxies all I want anyway. But for me, it's strictly just the convenience. Well, the convenience is the main reason, right? Definitely helps that I know I'm carrying a lot less monetary value in my book bag now whenever I want to just go jam and have some fun with friends. Anything happens, I'll be out just a few hundred as opposed to a few thousand, right? And that's a bit more reassuring. All right, I'll leave this video up to here. Thank you for watching.